Oi, rumour has it that the Aussie Inline skate is going to do a tech tips video on skate frame lengths. Oh, legit, really? Yeah. Struth. Why? Further educate the skating community on the benefits of frame lengths in relation to the size of their foot. True, eh? No, yeah. G'day folks, I'm the Aussie Inline skater and welcome back to a tech tips video on skate frames. There's many different frames on the market. There's almost an infinite number of frames on the market to choose from, but today we're going to stick with a very narrow range to keep things simple. We've got 4x84, 4x80, 3x100 Trinity, and an entirely foreign, different league to Inline, AIS. In the blue corner, we have 4x80, which is a traditional free skate frame with a frame length from axle to axle of 243 millimeters. In the red corner is 3x100 Trinity. This particular frame has a frame length of from axle to axle of 219 millimeters. This is the shortest 3x100 frame that Powerslide currently offer. Now one might be asking, what's that got to do with anything? Good question. So, imagine if I was to draw a triangle around this skate. I don't do trigonometry, but let's try and comprehend the physics as to what I'm trying to explain here. This is a Euro 40 boot. Imagine that your foot inside of the boot, the bones of your feet just sit a little bit before the toe and a little bit before the heel. If we were to draw a line from where your bones sit through the axle and to the ground, from the front here, boom, sit about there, and same on the back, boom, sit about there. So if I can hold this, my feet are sort of sitting there, which is a little bit just before the front of the skate, a little bit beyond just the back of the skate, when the skate is on the ground. And when I'm skating this particular setup here, I do feel that it's a little bit difficult to get on the heel and toe of this 4x80 frame, but my God, these are stable, incredibly stable in regards to my foot length. If I was to, I can't do it on these boots, but let's pretend that this is a 165 mount skate. In relation to my foot, if I was to attach the 4x84 frames, you can see that it's not a huge difference, but they're slightly longer, very slightly longer. And that would equate to an even more stable triangular mechanism. So these 4x84 frames, I primarily use if I'm going to be doing downhill skating. I haven't used them in a long while and they've still got the adapt wheels on them. But these 4x84 frames in relation to my foot, which is 255 millimeters, these are also, these particular frames are 258.8. So they're larger than my foot. I lose maneuverability, but I get an incredible amount, I get an incredible amount of stability from these. Better yet still, the 4x80, I get a larger amount of control, but still a good amount of stability of that forward and back balance. The height, especially. Yes, this is a Trinity frame, so the wheels are going to be sunken in a little bit, but that tipping and pushing side to side is going to be a little bit easier with these at the expense of a bit of speed. Opposed to the 3x100 skates, which sit drastically higher, you get, if you're exerting, they're going to push out more because the distance from the very bottom of your wheels to where your leg articulates in your hip socket is greater than these, and that's where those big wheels get you more power. But we're not talking about wheels, we're talking about frames. 3x100s. go to the pretty side of the skate. These axles are drastically shorter than where the ends of the bones are, or where the ends of my feet are in this skate. So it's not a triangle, it would be inverted. So when you push down, you're still pushing through there like a triangle, but the contact base is now a lot shorter opposed to the 4x80. For almost a whole, nearly 2 inches, I think. About 1.5 inches to 2 inches shorter. That sits nicely in there like that. That was super weird. Anyway, so getting up on the heel and toe of these frames is incredibly easy because of how short they are. But when I'm going downhill at speed, because they are so agile and want to turn so easily, there is a high probability of getting death wobbles in these, opposed to my 4x80 frames. So enough with the chit chat about myself. Let's assume you're not in a Euro 40 boot. Let's say you're in a Euro 42 and above, say anywhere from Euro 43 to Euro 45. These 4x80 frames, to you, are going to feel a little similar to what the 3x100s feel to me, in that the axle distance is much shorter in relation to your foot, like the ratio. If we're talking about ratios, it's like, what's the percentage difference of the distance between axle to axle to your foot length? It's like, that percentage is going to be much greater on these with 219 millimeters opposed to these, which is 243. So that Euro 43 to 45 boot is probably, that particular individual is going to feel much more comfortable in that 4x84 frame, in regards that their toes and heel are going to be very close or over the axles. And in that case, I'd recommend the 4x84 frame over the 4x80, so that when you're going downhill, you've still got a great amount of control, but you've got that extra stability that you just need. Personally, excluding freewheel frames, the ideal frame length is one that's just a little bit below your foot length. So if you have a 260mm foot to a 270mm foot, 4x84 is going to feel particularly amazing. And if you've got a 270mm foot to 280mm foot, which is big, a 4x90 frame is going to feel amazing. So we've established that the ratio of the frame length in regards to your foot length determines what kind of agility or stability you'll have. What if you've got a nice long frame, but you want a little bit more agility? That's where rockering comes into play, and I'll get a little bit into that in the ice skates in just a sec. Rocket frames. So let's say 4x80 is working out really good for you on the downhill, but you want a little bit extra control, a little bit more agility. Instead of the wheelbase contact area being from the first to the last axle, rockering changes it so that it's actually the distance between the axles that become the wheelbase. So that at any given time, you're only sitting on 2 wheels, be it the front, middle, or back. So the wheelbase of these frames, rocketed, is actually only here to here in these 3 positions, opposed to here to here. So on the downhill, the rocket frames aren't ideal, very, very likely to get death wobbles, but you have a great deal of agility, lots and lots of agility. Now that's why slalom skaters rocker their skates, because they need that agility so they can do those sharp pivots and turns. The shorter your frame is, the shorter the wheelbase is, the sharper you can potentially turn. So, the ice frames. What's all this got to do with the ice frames? These particular ice frames are too short for me. I ordered too small of an ice frame and I'm sort of suffering for it, but I'm working on getting a longer frame. So I thought, just like Inline, these frames are 273 from here to here, which is the same wheelbase as a 4x90 frame, which for me was way too long. So I thought on an AIS frame, that would be plenty long. But as a matter of fact, the way these frames are rocketed is like a banana. It's a constant curvature and there isn't any part of the blade that's completely flat. When I'm on the ice and I've dragged the skate sideways, at any given time, there's about that much of the blade that's in contact with the ice. And because it is a progressive rocker, it isn't like the distance between two axles. You're sitting on that much of the blade, and it's just a gradual, depending on where you are, in contact with the ice. So, agility, these things are hella agile. You can spin on the spot with little to no resistance. So when you're going fast, it's very easy to get those death wobbles. And with these frames, I actually do get a little bit of speed wobble until my feet stabilize, which takes a good hour to an hour and a half on the ice because I don't go ice skating often. So with ice frames, you do want a frame that's longer than your boot, but because they've got that progressive rocker, they're going to be extremely agile compared to their inline rocketed equivalent. Also got to give a big shout out to Extreme Skates. Thanks for this awesome t-shirt. Extreme Skates are a local skate shop in the Brisbane region, located just near the Suncorp Stadium in Milton. Visit extremeskates.com.au for all things skating, be it bearings, wheels, helmets, crash pads, you name it, they've got it. And if they don't have it in store, they sure as hell could probably order it in. This awesome shirt promotes the Extreme Skates website, as well as my local skate group on Facebook. So this is the end of the video. That was quite a lengthy discussion, but hopefully you've found something of value in this. I've tried the best I can to sort of extract the knowledge I have in my head out and translated that into something simple that most of my viewers can understand. If you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. Leave a like, leave a comment below on what your favourite skate frames are and why. And as always, stay sharp, get good, and have fun. Thanks for watching.